Hi, Andrew. Good to see you. I hope you're doing fine.
I'm fine. Nice to see you.
Perfect. So let's talk about the new concept of Kingpins, Kingpins24. Could you tell us what is this thing all about? What's the concept behind it? What's the idea?
Oh, when we had to cancel our show, we were so kind of bummed out about canceling and sad, and we went through kind of like a grieving period about canceling, and then we kind of resurrected and said, well, we have a lot of people that want to talk to the customers or talk to the universe. We have a lot of great seminars, and why don't we just do everything online and just have a blast doing it and try to have fun and try to experiment with a new way of, presenting things.
And what can people expect, visitors, exhibitors? Is it like, are you taping videos beforehand, or are you live streaming things, or what's going to happen when I'm on Kingpins24 next week?
You're going to be most basically everything's taped.
Mm-hmm.
We taped it because we're not experienced at this. The
Mm-hmm.
technology, we're not experienced at the whole process. Taping was not our first choice, but many things were already available. So we
Yeah.
had content. So
Mm-hmm.
we decided to tape just to make sure that this happens, and this happens in as controlled environment as we can do.
Okay.
Kind of like we don't know what we're doing, so
Mm-hmm.
why go more out of control?
How did exhibitors react to that when you first came up with the idea?
Wow, that was really funny because we thought, that was our question. Would they support us? Would they think we're crazy? But actually, I don't know the numbers. Vivian has the numbers, but somewhere, but definitely 65, and I heard somewhere 75 exhibitors participated.
Okay,
Our
cool.
group
So it
still,
means they are taping a video beforehand about their products or novelties, whatever.
yeah,
And
we gave them some ideas of what to do, and that's many of them
mm-hmm,
were interviewed by me in this very same seat that I'm in
mm-hmm,
my house, or
mm-hmm.
their house, in their house. And yeah, some of them did tapes of their products, some of them did different things. I've not seen everything,
Yeah.
but like for instance, Candiani participated. I mean, almost everybody that we thought would participate did, and we were surprised by so many.
Okay. So it means you're gonna have like 2 days of footage to show people because it's gonna run on 2 days, or is it like a
We're going to do
repetition?
22 hours of content.
Wow. Okay. So
Oh,
basically, you do like
But
all
you
day
need,
long.
but you need to understand, some of it is as short as 3 or 4 minutes, and some of it
Oh,
is
okay.
2 minutes. So that's a lot of stuff.
Okay.
And we're really, and it's going to be all on our mini website for
Mm-hmm.
48 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and then it'll be gone. And but it's going to be interesting. There's a lot of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of good stuff, a lot of terrible stuff, I'm sure, but
Okay.
some really excellent stuff. So I think that's the idea.
So now we see, unfortunately, that Amsterdam needed to be cancelled, Hong Kong was cancelled, New York was cancelled. Well, hopefully we're all back in autumn, I hope. But still, would the Kingpins24 idea, would that keep on going? Is this something you want to stick to, even though we're going to have the traditional fairs again as well? Or what's the idea?
Well, I'm not sure about the traditional fairs, so I really don't know. I mean, does anybody in Europe want New Yorkers to come to Europe in the next 4 or 5 months? Does anybody want to go to
Mm-hmm.
China? I mean, China's
Mm-hmm.
open. Do you and your family want to go to China right now? Will they take
We're
you?
thinking about it, but I'm not 100% sure. My family doesn't want me to go, but I feel like
So
I'm already
this
getting
is
nervous. I want to
this is
travel, but
this is
no,
going to
you're right.
this is
It's
going to be the big issue. I mean,
mhm.
I could have an event in New York that nobody wants to go to.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's two issues. One, can you have an event? And two, does anybody want to go? And then,
Mm-hmm.
so I think we're going to do another one in June. I mean, because of our New York show, we're talking about
Okay.
it. Not
Mm-hmm.
confirmed or announced, but we're talking about it. We'd like to do it. I want to do it. We already
Yeah.
have people that want to be in it that couldn't be in this one that are nice. And
Mm-hmm.
um, I think I really am pushing our guys to do it because I think that this is a nice, how can, it's not a present. It's a kind of a nice opportunity for the denim world to
Mm-hmm.
connect and to get information
Mm-hmm.
and to participate. Like everybody should participate. You guys, everybody.
Yeah, right, right. I mean, basically, this is why we're talking here, to be in touch and talk about everything. So when do you realistically see us traveling again and traveling around the world, going to China, going to the States people, or like New York people coming to Europe, like next year? Or do you think that's still too early to say?
Well, we're thinking in our best case scenario that there would be a show in Amsterdam, and the only people that would attend would be Europeans.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that if we can get in and we're allowed to go, like Vivian and I can go, and the rest of our team, we'd like to do a show. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
it's our business.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
there's a show in China that we're supposed to do in September. We're both wondering, whether we can go. We'd like to do the
Okay.
show. We think the Chinese would actually like the show.
Yeah.
I don't know whether the Europeans can exhibit.
Mm-hmm.
There's all these issues that we don't know, and
Yeah.
we just don't know what's going on here. And New York is a terrible condition. The United States
Yeah.
is like probably no position to talk about
Mm-hmm.
ending because it hasn't even moved to the other states properly, and people don't really pay attention here. People are going to
Mm-hmm.
golf clubs and playing tennis, and it's crazy.
Okay. Okay. I thought there was like also like more or less a total lockdown and people would stay home and really
The governor,
care.
some states have a total lockdown, but a
Yeah.
lot don't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Okay.
here in Texas, and friends of mine are going and playing golf every day,
Mm-hmm.
touching
Wow.
everything and doing everything. I don't even understand it. I can't. They're
Okay.
smart, but they still don't believe it, or they don't think they're going to get touched. So I think
Mm-hmm.
the situation in the United States could get much worse.
Mm-hmm. Well, still, Kingpins being like on the forefront of the sustainable movement. Do you think this is a pretty good chance now, opportunity for sustainable production to even go ahead? Or would you say the crisis throws everything back on the level of, oh, now we have to look at the numbers, we cannot spend more? What's your feeling about that?
I think that the situation is devastating to the supply chain.
Mm-hmm.
The devastation, we don't know the devastation, but this is like really awful what's gone on, and the damage will be like it's like being bombed, and we don't know. Like a city's been bombed, and we don't know what's
Mm-hmm.
left. So I
Mm-hmm.
really I think sustainability will be interrupted, but you can't stop a movement.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can slow it down, you can bomb it, you can destroy them, you can put 20% of the people out of business if you like, but you can't stop a movement.
Mm-hmm. So when you talk to the to your exhibitors, what's the feedback you receive from them? Because they get all the cancellation of orders from the big companies. I mean, and we also have to think in a social, sustainable way, like what to do with the workers, in the sourcing countries. What's their biggest fear, or how is there like a solution for all of this, or do you think it's just
Solution on this, this is this is devastation. This is basically a bombing.
Mhm,
People who have garment factories who opened letters of credits to the brands for garments and for fabrics and for trims and stuff, they don't get paid, and then they have to send their workers home. They have no cash.
mhm,
This is a cash devastation. So
mhm.
um, I don't even know how to answer that question. It's a question that nobody knows how much money you got because nobody knows how long this is going to last.
Yeah.
Even we don't have that problem that they have, but how long will this problem last?
Mhm.
What if
Do you think the government should jump in at that the point, and
Well, the government's always jumping for the airlines. You'd think they'd do something for our industry. Um, I don't know
in Germany not, I can tell you.
the United States is different than every other country. So
Mhm,
I think in Bangladesh, in Vietnam, I don't know what assistance the government's going to give the factories.
mhm,
In China, I'm sure one way or another they're going to get assistance.
mhm,
I,
mhm.
I believe that, but I got an email today from a bunch of people asking for our assistance because they've been really hurt. So I can't answer that question. This is really,
Mhm.
I call this World War C, which rhymes with three,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
in a way we're all being attacked, and these people are attacked the most.
Yeah.
They're the
That's
epicenter. They're the
obviously the
epicenter, the business epicenter
problem.
of what's going on.
Yeah. Still, do you see like that there could be winners of the whole scenario in the sense of that maybe some countries will become stronger, some sourcing countries maybe stronger than others, and they could get like an advantage, or they will be back in business quicker than others? What's your take on that?
The sad history of our business is people flock
Mm-hmm.
countries that are the poorest, the most disenfranchised, in the worst condition. This is
Mm-hmm.
how our industry has always operated.
Mm-hmm.
So this is perfect for the buyers because they've
Mm-hmm.
caused such a damage in so many countries that the prices they're going to think are going down, which is why they ask for discounts and stuff, because they think this is the moment to actually take advantage of everybody. It's really awful. It's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
morality of this is, as a society, as a global society, is horrific.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I always make a joke that if any country's really big in textiles, then they have a serious problem with their standard of living.
Mm-hmm.
Countries with the worst standard of living are usually the biggest exporters of apparel.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. But would you still have like a plea to the big companies, the retailers, and everybody say like, listen, guys, you have to sit together and find a solution also for those, not only for your own workers, but also for the workers in sourcing countries?
Well, this is something we're talking to social compliance standards, and one of the things that
Yeah.
crossed our mind is how can you have a social compliance standard and have no social compliance regard for the way you buy and set the way you buy from your suppliers?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is something which is not going to go away. I think this is a new subject, and I
Mm-hmm.
think there has to be some definite action taken because this is
Mm-hmm.
not right.
Mm-hmm. But do you feel this could be like, again, also like a chance to improve things once this thing is over, whenever it is over?
Yes, I do. Actually, I
Mm-hmm.
do. I do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So when it comes to consumption, we go to the other end of the chain. Do you think there's also things that might change? Do you yourself already have changed your ways to consume?
Well, we're in prison here, so we've
Well,
been
I don't see you like the Fifth Avenue guy shopping around the hour, but still.
we're sitting here in our home prisons, so I don't think I need much right now. But I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
are going to go back to life, and I've never been a massive consumer of different things. So
Mm-hmm.
um, I think people will buy less temporarily,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the way the economy goes. The one thing that nobody really talks about is what kind of damage has been done to the global economy.
Yeah.
One of my friends says there's no vaccine for poverty.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know the economic situation. We don't know how the consumers are going to behave. We have
Mm-hmm.
examples in China that we're all watching really carefully.
Mm-hmm.
They're not fantastic numbers. So we could have a bigger problem with the economy than we had with COVID. I'm not saying
Yeah.
it can happen, but it
Yeah.
could. We don't
No,
know.
yeah. We just had the situation that Austria opened the stores yesterday, and I talked to some people there, and they said, of course, the stores are open, but it's still like 5% of the people are in the streets that you usually have in the streets. There's no tourists around, as you say. People still don't want to travel around. So until we're back to normal, it might take, I don't know how long, like maybe
Well,
a year
what's
or
normal
whatever.
going to be for the travel industry? What's normal going to be for the movies? China opened their movie theaters and nobody went, so they closed them
Yeah,
for 4 days.
yeah, exactly.
What happens to all those kind of industries as well, besides apparel? But if those industries aren't doing well, then their employees can't buy clothes. So
Exactly.
it simply affects us in a roundabout way.
Mm-hmm. But apart from that, that we should buy again, of course, don't you also see a chance that there could be like also more a sustainable way of buying in the sense of less consuming, buying, think of what you buy, buying better quality products, everything actually that you also with Kingpins are claiming for.
We hope that we can.
Mm-hmm.
I can't
Mm-hmm.
say I believe that's going to happen. I'd love that to happen. We all want that to
Mm-hmm.
happen. We think less is more and better is better. So,
Yeah.
but I can't answer that question because we just don't know how this is going to
Mm-hmm.
fall.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So on a very more or less last question and personal note. So what's your personal, if I say learning out of this whole thing? I mean, I think whether neither you or me have ever experienced anything like this. Just if I wish my grandparents would be still around, I could ask them about World War II and what happened then. I think
Me
still
too.
we're in a different situation, but still, what do you do every day? What do you think about? What mood are you in?
Well, this is why I called it World War III or C,
Mm-hmm.
because it reminds me of a shutdown of an entire nation.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never experienced that. None of us have experienced that. I don't think I learned so much as I'm reminded of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that I'm balanced enough that I thought of all these things before this happened. I'm with my family. I appreciate my family. I appreciate my friends. We have our little, Zoom cocktail parties that we have with our friends, stay in touch, which now we think, oh, we should have done this before. This is so much
Mm-hmm.
fun. I read more.
Mm-hmm.
I think I read more. I play clarinet. I play my clarinet more.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm learning that I really enjoy being home with my wife enormously. And
Mm-hmm.
if the day comes when I retire, that I'm going to love it. I have
Mm-hmm.
no problem to retire at all. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I just learned, and it's not I learned. It reminded me that I can do things that I love, things that I have more time to do. I enjoy when we're not talking about work. I'm loving my life right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Love it. I
That's
just
good.
totally love it.
But do you think like in 10 years from now, we will just remember this 2020 as being there was the Corona year? Or do you think, means that we forget about it pretty easily, or do you really think the impact will be so heavy and big that it will be really close to a World War II scenario also in our memories?
I hope we remember it the way we remember, 9/11, or remember Katrina in New Orleans, or Hurricane Sandy in New York, where we remember it. We all suffered. I mean, we had a big hurricane in New York, and the water went up to almost the second floor of my apartment. So we all have had circumstances, especially in New York. You have something going on all the time. Those things you remember in the back of your mind, like they happened, and you survived it, and you came out the same as you were before. I'm not sure this is going to be the same thing. You're going to certainly remember this. And there's going to be a difference. There's going to be a market. Like, for instance, after 9/11, there was a difference in airline security.
Right.
And every time I go through airline security, you think of 9/11, because before then you could just walk on the plane.
Exactly.
So,
and now we'll have to see how many airlines will survive the whole thing anyway. so
now you're going to have health people like the airlines. So probably we're going to have a big change. Maybe Kingpins will take people's test people. I don't know, or look at their passports to see if they're whether they have the ability to withstand a disease. I don't know.
I'm going to wear a mask all the time when we go to a trade show now.
I dread that. That makes me so sad, really so sad. We have to wear masks and gloves and go places. I don't even want to go anywhere if it's like that. It's awful. So I don't know what the changes are going to be, but there's going to be significant changes. And of course we will remember it.
But, well, it's good to see you safe and healthy and strong and very positive and optimistic. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Kingpins24 next week.
Thank you.
We'll have more of that soon.
I might sound negative, but I'm really positive as a society and people that we all find a way to be. And we just collectively need to help everybody be as good as we are.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Andrew. See you soon again, hopefully in person, face to face.
Good luck to you and your family. Good luck.
Okay, thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.